Good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another episode of New Orleans by Night. Today we find ourselves. This scene is actually taking place on the evening of the 16th, rather than the evening of the 17th, and Claire O'Keefe and Monsieur Le Blanc are at that important meeting that they had to attend when they left the prince's quarters early. It turns out that the meeting was actually somewhat of a friendly date to go and see a local production of Cyrano De Bergerac in a park. And so we begin.
As the scene is winding down and the intermission is happening, they've just gone through the first half, and they walk out into the intermission, are having drinks, and Monsieur LeBlanc says, "So, what did you think of the first act, where that little debate was happening about all the possible ways he could have insulted his nose? Uh, like perhaps it is too flat, and could be like a writing desk, or you could poke someone with that thing, or all that kind of jazz in the first scene."
mm, that's always good for a laugh, isn't it?
Yes, I actually thought my favorite part in the first act was in the first half was guaranteed to be the bit where the man who Cyrano is acting as the supplier of words for says to the cousin, "I love you so much," and she asks, "I asked for cream and you give me milk. What is this?" Oh, that was hilarious. But no, it's actually kind of nice to finally get back into these Dutch francophone.
Sorry, just a second. Okay, so what did you just say?
I said it is nice to finally get back involved with the arts with the francophone.
Classic literature has always been a point of interest to me. I was always most fond of the stories of Arsène Lupin when I was newly embraced.
Of Arsène Lupin? Well, he was my sire. I traveled with him quite some time.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait. Can I call you Maurice?
Maybe, that's my original name, but I haven't used that since 1941. Why? Am I missing something here? Oh, you've read my work.
You were my favorite author for a number of decades, actually.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that my work actually lasted for quite some while. Sadly, Arsène Lupin, yes, was real. He was my sire, and I wrote down most of his stories over the course of. Over the course of my time knowing him. I told you about what happened to him in 1941, which is why I never wrote that story, but I faked my own death. Shimmer straight to fake a dead body is actually a very good idea. But no, I have since been running and performing magic in his memory ever since. That's why I am so obsessed with it. It's primarily because he was the gentleman thief, and the ultimate great magician, and I wanted to live to my sire's memory.
Well, you've certainly impacted at least someone with your work.
Well, I'm glad to see that at least was some good. Oh, by the way, I've been working on that. I've been working on that idea of the ultimate truc magique, and I have an idea for one. Oh wait. Um, do you remember? Well, I do have a. I'm just going to. I'm just going to have him pull another random book out. I think I've got something that a toreador author like yourself, my author like your authoress like yourself, or author like yourself might actually enjoy. I'm just going to use the paperweight paper from earlier, but we're not going to say that is just a random. I have an idea. Would you be so kind as to basically tell me when to stop?
There.
Right there. Okay. Well, we only have one page clear. Would you be so kind as to take a look at the page over here and pick a single word from it?
Okay. I actually can't see
No, I
through the
don't
webcam.
I don't expect you to see. This is an in-character trick, not an out-of-character trick.
Okay.
So if you could pick one word out of there, please, and just memorize that word for me. Now, what I'm going to have you do is, do you mind if I take your hand? At which point he takes your hand, and now I'm going to roll perception empathy using my. But I'm probably going to. I'm actually going to lower. I'm going to use Auspex and lower my. This is probably going to lower my difficulty from difficulty 6 to difficulty 4 overall because I'm using Auspex and my heightened sense for touch. This is precisely a technique that. So 3 dice, and that should lower my difficulty to 4. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. The 1 neutralized, so I got 1 success. I am presuming the word that you got was I'll just pick a word out of here. The word that you picked was distinguished, n'est-ce pas?
Yes, it was.
So what do you think? It's a little old trick that old trick that I learned from Monsieur Lupin some time ago.
I like that one.
Yeah.
But I suppose that doing tricks with books would be an easy way to impress someone with the background in literature that I have.
I would give you a copy of my work, but sadly I don't have any with me anymore. I mean, I even used to have an old copy of 3 stories and 10 poems signed, mind you, one of the very first copies of Ernest Hemingway's original first book. Sadly, it got lost during the war, along with most of my other work.
Claire has fallen completely silent and is just staring at Monsieur Le Blanc.
No, c'est vrai. We were one time. Arsène was performing at a function, and we ran into Monsieur Hemingway, and I got a copy as being the transcriber of Monsieur Lupin's work, and Monsieur Lupin. It was a joint copy to both of us, but it was signed to Monsieur Lupin, Monsieur Le Blanc from yours, Ernest Hemingway. But sadly, like I said, it got lost during the war, along with a number of other things. The Little Lapin and the book that Arsène wrote, his only book that he ever wrote, and to me, the instructional manual on magic, were the only things that were saved after the war.
War is always a terrible thing, isn't it?
La Deuxième Guerre mondiale, this again, you notice that he seems to you notice that when his flashbacks keep happening, he sniffs a little bit, and he actually manages to stop the tear of blood this time. But you could see that you thought you could see a faint tear of blood on his You thought you could see a single faint tear of blood on his eye. C'est vrai. I lost my sire. I lost the world lost a great man, let alone lost a great man, let alone one of our disposition, and I lost a great role model that particular day. So the intermission looks like it's about to be over soon. What do you think we should do in the meantime? Do we want to go back and see the rest of the play, or?
Or what exactly?
Well, now that I've got my inspiration for a couple of new ideas, I had some idea that maybe we could go around town and start looking for some old books. Perhaps we might be able to find a perhaps we might be able to find a new trick that might impress the prince. You know, there's something that might actually truly impress him. I was actually hoping to get your help with that.
I'm more than willing to help. Sounds like a good idea, actually.
Ah, bien. Then shall we go look? Shall we go rummaging through the old through the old bookstores, whichever ones may be open at this time?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like an excellent idea.
Ah, bien. And with that, they leave and start meandering through various old bookstores on the Bourbon Street and elsewhere throughout New Orleans.
Mm.
And as they continue walking, what is Claire doing?
Mm. Claire is basically taking in the sights. She hasn't really had a chance to see anything of the city, considering the eventful few days since
Yeah.
since arriving.
Mm-hmm. And after about a couple of hours of meandering the city sights, Monsieur Le Blanc, even after an hour, Monsieur Le Blanc even puts his hat out for a couple of men, and I'm gonna have him roll some performance rolls now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just 2 or 3, like maybe save for about an hour and a half. Save maybe like one per half hour. So we're gonna roll a couple of dice to see if he gets any more cash. Because let's see, with the books that he bought and the 2 play tickets, he's probably down at $45 now. So I'm gonna try to bump him back up. Ah, bingo! 1, 2 successes there. So that's $30 there. And I'll roll for a second one. So basically, you get to see him performing live his various magic shows. So you get to see some of his card tricks and a few other odds and ends like that. And okay, well the 9 got neutralized, but he got another. 9 got neutralized, but he got another success. So that's 15, 30, $45. So 45 plus 45, he's at $90 now. So yeah, so I'll make a note of that he's only down to 90 on the character sheet, and you know, I got to keep a float going. And with that, Monsieur Le Blanc says, "Yeah, I've been having to resort to this in order to basically make some money because it's been hard to even find a potential place to throw a new magic show or shows comme ça."
I wonder if there would be a cafe or something where you could do a magic show. Perhaps approach some owners of local establishments, see if they'd be willing to take a cut of a cover charge to have people come and see you perform.
It's not a bad idea. Who knows? Maybe I might read out some of my original work. If I could ever find a copy in one of these used bookstores, that seemed to be so cheap.
Claire slips a hand into her bag and pulls out a book and hands it to Monsieur Le Blanc. Actually, I think this one might be one of yours.
Quoi? Now hang on, it'll be, just give me a sec to find the relevant title. Nope, that's not the one. Wait, maybe forward actually, hang on. Oh wait, hang on. Wait, where's the Arsène Lupin section? It'll actually be, I'm trying to look specifically for his. Damn it. Hang on. There we go. Yeah. It'll, let. Wait, this is, Les Dents du Tigre. This is my book from 1921. How did you find this?
I've had it for a number of years.
Yeah, so nice to know that I have a copy back now. Merci, c'est très gentil of you to return a copy to me. Thank you. At which point, merci. At which point he gives Claire a hug.
Claire returns the hug. Well, it wouldn't do for an author to not have a copy of at least one of his own works, would it?
Ah oui, bien sûr. Those were the days. But enough dwelling on the past. I don't particularly like to do so. In the meantime, as they're continuing walking, they wind up eventually returning back to a taste of nightshade for the evening, and say, "Well, Mademoiselle O'Keeffe, it was a brilliant evening. Shall we leave it there, or did you want to come in for a small nightcap? I do have a small bottle in my room. I promise nothing more than a gentleman, just I want to..."
Claire smiles, obviously keeping something to herself. If I could get Dice Stream to work, I would.
Okay, I'll roll for you if you want, and I'll roll Perception Empathy.
Okay, so...
What do you need to roll?
So what am I actually rolling to try to hide what I'm thinking?
Probably Manipulation Subterfuge.
Okay, so that would be 4 dice for me.
Okay, 4 dice for you. And you got 1 success.
Okay, so if you beat 1 success, you...
Okay, so 1 success for you, and that's 3 dice for me. And I get no successes, so you successfully hide whatever it is you're thinking.
Even though I very poorly hide it.
Yes. So Monsieur Le Blanc says, would you like to come in for a nightcap, or...?
I would enjoy that. Thank you for the invitation.
And when they get inside his room, and Monsieur Le Blanc proceeds to close the door... I'm leaving the Sinclair's department because Monsieur LeBlanc has not been making a move. Do you want to go that far, and just?
No, we're not going to go that far this time. Claire is keeping things to herself because she doesn't want to make any mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll help this along. Monsieur LeBlanc turns to Claire and says, "You know, I just realized from the moonlight in this particular corner's window, you are très belle."
Claire giggles slightly and kind of brushes that one off. Well, I am a toreador. We're known for our beauty.
Vrai, but I don't think I've seen quite a toreador that kind of glimmers in the moonlight like you do.
Claire raises an eyebrow. At least I'm not sparkling in the sunlight.
Ooh, touché! Touché. That's Stephanie Meyer. She is such a she is an atrocious author. This is what passes for literature.
Oh, if that's what gets published these days, I'm glad I haven't had anything published in so long.
Perhaps it is time that we work together and change that. Change what is published for what passes for good literature these days. And as he pours a nightcap, I'm actually going to roll Dexterity Subterfuge at this point. sorry, dexterity larceny, because he's gonna roll. He's gonna pour you a drink with some blood mixed in, so you can drink it. This is gonna be 7 dice, specialty misdirection. Yeah, nope, he doesn't. You notice a small little lot. No, I actually scratch that. I'm just gonna undo that move because that is so underhanded, and Monsieur Le Blanc would never do that. Sorry, forget that roll. I'm negating that roll because he would never do that. I went out of character for a moment there because I was trying to force something along, and I'm like, no, he would not do that. Get back in character. Monsieur Le Blanc pours a couple of drinks and then just basically goes from there and hands one to Claire, and as they sit and drink, they proceed to talk into the night, and when the sun starts coming up, presumably they basically fall asleep into torpor in each other's arms.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll leave it there.
Yep.
And that'll bring us up to modern day scenes for anything on the 17th.
Okay.
Brilliant.
So, thank you to any viewers, and good night.